Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing today? Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I hope you're all doing well. Today is Friday, the 4th of December 2020. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you all to another full day of gameplay streaming. Variety of stuff today for sure. And this weekend has some things that I have changed in the schedule that I'm going to talk about this morning on the pre-stream, so you guys know exactly my line of reasoning and why I'm doing what I'm doing, okay? I hope that what I'm doing is satisfactory to you guys. I think actually it'll be better for the streams, quite frankly. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Got a couple of news stories that I'd like to talk about this morning that I'm pretty, well, not necessarily excited about, but some interesting news for sure in the realm of gaming that I'd like to discuss with all of you, okay? So, what's going on, my friends? Heading into the weekend, busy weekend here, good variety of games that I'll be playing over the weekend for sure, including a new release that just came out a couple days ago that I'll actually be playing now. I've determined that it's something that I'd be very interested in doing, so I'm going to play it. Okay? Fair enough. Let's talk about that. So today, first stream is the continuation of Demon's Souls, which many of you love to see me fail at, which, you know, admittedly, I'm going to fail at it. It's one of the hardest games ever made by From Software. Admittedly, it is. I feel it's the most difficult From Software game. I really do. You know, missing many of the improved gameplay elements that were added into the Dark Souls series, like bonfires. Having 0 checkpoints, admittedly, is pretty damn difficult. Okay? So, we'll see what happens today. If you've been watching the Demon's Souls playthrough, alright, I'm in World 5-2, and I know basically how to get through about half of it. And then it gets kind of gray, because there's a bunch of stuff going on. Once I get to this certain area, I got to this pile of slugs. I know there's an optional item that drops out of this giant pile of writhing slugs, but I don't remember what's in it or if it's anything good. It's probably not. For my build, it's probably not going to be anything I need. But I died because I was exploring. I found it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this from when I explored the original Demon's Souls. And then I fell and died. Like, son of a bitch. And I gotta do the whole stage over again. So I basically know how to get through more than half the stage. But what I need to do is continue on and not die, but take it slow so that way I can get back to the end of the stage. I can open the shortcut bridge. Because once the shortcut bridge is open, then you can go straight to the end of the stage and fight the boss, rather than having to go through the entire bog again. But now we have to go through the entire bog again from the start. So, I gotta do that first. I'm assuming that's gonna take me a bit to beat. Alright. I honestly don't remember who the big boss is of World 5. Like, I can't remember who the big endgame boss is. But, I guess we'll see today. Then, I eventually have to go back to World 3-3 and get to the old monk, but I have to fight the stupid mage in the staircase that killed me like 25 times. Major pain in the ass. So what I may do is go to World 1-3 instead and just fight there for a while. And I know if you're there, you can get a ton of healing items and stuff. So I might just do that first, even though I do remember it being quite challenging. I might just do that first. And then eventually, once I get enough extra health or damage or whatever, go back to try to fight those fucking stupid-ass mages and the old monk boss. And then see how far we can get today. All right? It really depends. If today things go smoothly, okay, it's very likely that I can get near the end of the game and then one more session, maybe even not a main session, but a late night session, may be enough to beat the game. Alright? But, if I die and die and die and die and die and die, which is very likely I'll do because it's Demon's Souls, then I may need another major session of the game. Okay? So I'm going to tell you my plans for the schedule for the weekend. I am leaving the schedule open with another major session of Demon's Souls just in case I need it, but we'll see what happens today. Okay? So yes, prepare for death, prepare for frustration. That's the name of the game when it comes to Demon's Souls, okay? Later tonight, I'm going to do another fun gameplay session of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, I've really enjoyed this game the last couple of sessions that I've played it. I've been using different weapons. Instead of using that flail that I used a million times, I'm now using either a spear or a hand axe. I think the spear is very fun to play with in combat. It has some really brutal death animations. And, well, I should say execution animations. And the plot's been good. doing these various quests to recruit people or really get them to be your allies in England. And the current quest line we're doing is we're trying to cement someone's position as being a king, okay? But the thing is, no one really has faith in this guy. He's a young guy, and we're trying to basically train him to be a king. Make him understand combat, make him understand how to make wise judgments, etc. Man him up, essentially. And so this quest has been interesting, a little bit different than the others that I've been doing. And I'm interested to see how this goes. So tonight, late night stream, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and continuing on with that quest line, okay? Tomorrow, we're going to go back to Yakuza 7, continuing on with what I did yesterday, which was a really great session because we finally unlocked the job classes. It took a long time. I'm almost 20 hours into this game, and finally we have unlocked the job classes. So I got a breakdancer, a pop idol, a foreman, and a musician. And they're actually quite funny. Their attacks and animations and everything are quite cool to see the different things that they unlock. And I've had a lot of fun with it. I really am having a lot of fun with it now that I'm unlocking more of the game. So I can't wait for more tomorrow as another major stream. Okay? Now, tomorrow night, this is the big change to the schedule. All right? And let me explain to you guys my line of reasoning and why I have changed my idea of what I'm doing here. Okay? So, originally, my plan was that as I completed games this week, including Spider-Man Miles Morales, Bugsnax, and Demon's Souls, I wanted to add a new game into the mix. Now, I'm well aware that in less than a week, we're looking at the release of Cyberpunk 2077. And I knew that when that game came out, at least for, a week or two, that's going to be the main game people's going to want to see. And I didn't want to add in another major game to the rotation for fear that I would basically be drawing myself way too thin. I didn't want to spread myself out so much that now I'm playing so many games and there's a few that I just never get to. Let's face it, Yakuza 7 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla were games I was playing before the release of the PS5, yet they're the games that I'm actually the most behind on right now because I was playing all those PS5 games, you see? So because of that, I want to focus on what I'm doing, and I want to focus on Cyberpunk. I didn't want to start up another major game, all right? So that being said, this weekend, I wanted to start something that was going to be like a chill game, a night stream, all right? And the one game that came to mind was a launch title for PS5, Sackboy, A Big Adventure. It is a platformer from the makers of Little Big Planet. I mean, essentially, this game is Little Big Planet 4, but they removed all of the level creation tools from the game, which is funny because that was what made Little Big Planet unique, was that you make your own levels. Not to say that I ever did it, because I never did. I played Little Big Planet 1 through 3, and I never bothered dabbling in making my own levels because I don't care about that. I just played the game for its campaign, okay? But they announced that this is going to be a launch title for PS5. And at first I was interested. I was like, wow, they're just going to do it as like a normal platformer rather than worry about the level creation that I don't care about. But Astro's Playroom already was a almost cutesy style platformer that was free packaged in with every PS5. And I said, well, why am I going to run out and buy Sackboy when I can just play Astro's Playroom and then maybe, in a few weeks after the release of PS5, if I need a new game to add into the mix, then I'll do that, right? So that's exactly what I did. I waited, and now here we are, 3 weeks after the release of PS5. And I said, okay, maybe now it's time to get Sackboy. Then I actually looked at the price of Sackboy. $59.99. $60. It's a full retail priced game for a game that's just a cutesy platformer in 2020. All right? I'm sorry, but that just doesn't fly for me. There have been many other platformer games that are as good as Little Big Planet that have come out in the past couple of years, and they knew better. They knew better than to charge full price. They said, in this current gaming climate, a platformer game cannot be sold for $60 anymore. They kind of understood that. Apparently, Sackboy: A Big Adventure doesn't know that. It thinks that it's actually a full-fledged game and it deserves full price. Well, I'm sorry, in my opinion, it doesn't, okay? I've actually heard from some people who've played it, and they said the game is actually quite good, but it's on the shorter side. It's not, it's not going to be a 20, 30-hour playthrough. So for me, dropping $60 for a game that I was going to only play as a late-night stream every once in a while for variety, and a game that I already know exactly what the game's going to be, all right, that's a really hard sell for me, okay? It really is. It's a really hard sell for me. And it's not just the money. It really isn't. It's not about the money. It's about the value. Like, I would actually feel like, you know what I mean? I would feel like I'm being irresponsible dropping $60 for a game that doesn't provide a $60 value. You know what I mean? Again, this was meant to be a filler game. This is not a game that I'm super hyped for or anything. This is meant to be a game that would be kind of filler content in between other stuff. I don't want to start anything major because Cyberpunk's right around the corner. So to have this as a couple nights this week and maybe a couple nights moving forward for the next few weeks to play a QT platformer or whatever, that'd be fine. But this is honestly, for me, this is how I differ from a lot of other content creators. I feel, anyway. Because other content creators have two factors involved. Either they make way more money than me, so they don't care. They can just blow money on games willy-nilly and not care about it. Or they get everything for free. Because they got these partnerships and they talk with these publishing companies behind the scenes and they get all the games for free. So to them, it's like no big deal. I'll just play whatever, right? For me, I actually have to look at what I'm doing and say, gee, this is my hard-earned money. This is money that I need to spend over a certain period of time. I just dropped a ridiculous amount of money last month on the PlayStation 5, on all the games for PS5. I got Cyberpunk right around the corner that I'm going to be playing. And I know, for $70, or is it $60 for Cyberpunk? I think 60, right? $60 for Cyberpunk, I'm going to get a game that's arguably going to give me the most content of any game I've played in years, at least from the reports about the game, right? And then there's other games this month that I'm considering as well, like Immortals Phoenix Rising. Again, I know I'll get more content out of that game than I would out of Sackboy, and I'll probably like it more too. So it's hard for me to justify a $60 purchase, okay, when I know this game is not going to give me $60 value in comparison to other games. And I'll be very honest with all of you, my audience, all right? I feel this game, the only reason that this game is actually being sold for $60 is because it's a PS5 launch title. You know? That's it. If this were any other, game or any other time, would they be selling a Sackboy game for $60? And the answer is, I don't think so. I don't think that they would even be able to. I feel that people would be like, nah, that's not, there's no value. That's not, for Little Big Planet, there's a difference here because not only are they selling you a major campaign platformer that they've created, but then they're giving you the level creator tools to make your own stages, so you can argue there's the value there. Oh, it's a full retail game, but you can make your own stages, plus play user-created stages, plus play what the game developers have designed for you. That's worth $60. Not, like, literally, just think about that. You're getting 1/3 of the content that you got in Little Big Planet 1 through 3, and you're paying the same price. You're only getting the developer-created stages. You're not getting the tools to make your own, and you're not playing other people's. You only get theirs. It's the same price, right? So I strongly think that this game is a ripoff, all right? From what I've heard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the game is 40 hours long, the best platformer ever made. I haven't heard that. I've heard it's pretty good, but it's on the shorter side. So how is it worth $60, right? So for me, that's kind of a very, very... Like, let me put it this way. I do actually want to play the game. I actually do. I want to play it, but I don't want to play it for $60. I want to wait till it's cheaper. Undoubtedly, Sackboy, give a month or two, is not going to be $60 anymore. That game is going to drop to like 40, 30 bucks. We all know that, too. With games like this always happens. It's a launch title for PS5. They're taking advantage of the fact that people want to play these games on PS5, so they're charging this giant price for the holidays. All of a sudden, in January or February, the price will dip dramatically. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Is I'm going to hold off on the game. And again, it's not a matter of can Phil afford it. It's a matter of value and me buying it and feeling like I'm doing the right thing. I don't feel this game is a $60 value game. I don't want to drop the money on it for that. I just don't. I would rather play a game that I feel I'm maybe getting the value that you should get out of it. Okay? So, I decided not to play Sackboy at this time. Okay? Again, it's not forever. What I want to do is I want to wait for the games to drop in price. And then I want to play it. All right? So it may be a month or two. And it may end up being just a late night chill stream or whatever. But that's the choice that I have made. I thought about this last night. I was like, I think this is the decision I'm going to make. Okay? Now, obviously that means that leaves a gap because I was going to have this fill in late night streams this weekend and coming up this week. So what's it going to be? Well, a different game has come out this week. Okay? It's called Twin Mirror. It is a narrative-based game by Don't Nod. For those who don't know, Don't Nod is the same studio that just made Tell Me Why over the summer. Well, actually the fall. It was September. And also the Life is Strange series. Okay? Now, sometimes Don't Nod does great stuff, and sometimes they do kind of average stuff, and sometimes their stuff sucks. All right? Admittedly, Life is Strange 1 was great. Life is Strange 2 was duty. But Tell Me Why was really good. I actually really enjoyed Tell Me Why. I thought it was one of the better stories in a narrative-based game that I've seen in a long time. It was original. It had a cool mystery aspect to it. In my opinion, it was done pretty well. And I really enjoyed the game. And most of you who watched that playthrough, that was the feedback you gave me too, that you really enjoyed the playthrough of it. Okay? So, they made a new game, and this game is a mystery thriller. Okay? Now, all I know is the summary. The summary is that I guess you're a guy in his early 30s, I believe. And I guess a lot of traumatic stuff has just happened. Like you broke up with your longtime girlfriend, and then I guess one of your best friends from your hometown passed away. So you go back to your hometown for the funeral. So a lot of messed up stuff happening in your life, okay? Then all of a sudden, this guy wakes up one day, okay? And he is completely covered in blood. And he has no memory of what happened the night before at all. He has like amnesia. So now the course of the game is trying to piece together what in the hell happened that night. Are you in trouble? Are you gonna, is someone after you? Is there someone after you on the hunt for you because you were involved in a crime, you were involved in a fight? Like what happened? A murder maybe? Who knows? So it's a mystery thriller, okay? And I feel that's the kind of game that to play on a late night stream for a few sessions would be pretty entertaining and interesting for us, okay? Yeah, I actually feel like this is a good time for a game like this. I do. That's kind of exactly what I'm looking for like a late night stream to fill in a gap a time when there's, not a lot of time to play stuff. For what I don't understand, the game's roughly 7 hours long. It could be longer if you take your time with it, which as you guys know, when I play these games, typically I do. I'll go around looking for all the information, all the clues. I'll explore the environments rather than rush through. Okay? Now you may be saying, well, I've never heard of this game. Well, yeah, you want to know what happened? This game was supposed to be a big game from Don't Nod, but I guess what happened is they realized, shit, there's so many giant high-profile games that are coming out because of the PS5 launch that they basically never promoted it. Like, there was zero promotion put into this game. Tell Me Why got way more promotion than Twin Mirror. And I don't know why that is, but, I'm interested in this game. And by the way, the game is $30. All right? So it's only 7 hours long and narrative-based, but it's half the price of a retail game. That sounds to me like more value, you see? So that's why I think I want to play this game over the course of this weekend. Okay? So, we're going to play that starting tomorrow night. And it just came out, by the way. It came out 2 days ago. So it's actually, it was 3 days ago. It was this week. So it's a brand new game. Pretty much, it's something that I wasn't originally planning on doing. But it came out, I was like, wow, I forgot that this game was ever coming out. I had heard about it a few months ago. and then kind of never heard about it again because there was zero marketing for the game. Absolutely none. But, you know, I'm interested in this game. So I hope that you guys will join me Saturday night and Sunday night when I'm going to be playing Twin Mirror. Now, the funny part about this, here we go. Someone like Baldy in the stream chat says, yeah, but now the streams are going to be all boring. Like, dude, do you really think, and to be honest here, do you really think that if I played Sackboy, that was really going to bring in the mainstream attention? Are you out of your mind? You know, people already were telling me, don't play Sackboy, do something else. And don't get me wrong, that was a factor as well in judging if I wanted to play Sackboy or not. As much as I wanted to play Sackboy, and I still do want to play Sackboy, but I'm not paying full price for it. No way. It's not worth $60. It wasn't going to bring in the numbers. It wasn't going to bring in a giant audience. That's why I was doing it as late night chill streams anyway. All right? So, Baldy, you would have complained no matter what I played. Seriously, I'm just being honest here. He would have complained if I played Sackboy. He was going to complain when I played Twin Mirror. I mean, he complains when I play everything. So, obviously, you know, I don't really care. I'm just saying. All right? If I'm going to play a game this weekend as a thing to kind of fill in the late night streams, I'm going to play something that, number one, I'm interested in, but number two, I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off when I play it. And so that's why I'm going to be playing Twin Mirror this weekend. Okay? So, going through the schedule again, Saturday, Yakuza 7 on the main gameplay stream, and I'm going to do the premiere stream of Twin Mirror on the late stream. Okay? Sunday, it's going to be probably the conclusion of Demon's Souls, because again, I don't likely see myself beating the game today. I think that I'll probably get a good tear into the game today, but I may die a bunch, and therefore I'm probably going to need another stream to beat it. So Sunday would be that day. And then Sunday night, we'll do a little bit more Twin Mirror, okay? Then on Monday, it'll be more Yakuza 7. Yes, I realize this is a lot of Yakuza 7, and that's okay. I'm doing it on purpose. I feel like I've kind of neglected Yakuza 7 over the past couple of weeks when I only played it one stream a week while I played all the PS5 exclusives. Now, I'm getting back to it in a big way. Okay, so more Yakuza 7 on Monday, and then Monday night, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Okay? Fair enough? Alright, now, Wednesday, when I'm back from break, because Tuesday is my break from streaming, likely it'll be more Yakuza 7 again. What will I do Wednesday night? I don't know, because it really depends on how things went with Twin Mirror. Maybe I'll finish Twin Mirror, or maybe we'll go back to Assassin's Creed for a session, for variety. We'll see. Cyberpunk 2077 launches on Thursday the 10th. Now, what's hilarious about this is people are completely confused about the release date for the game. I don't know why, but I guess it was when the makers of Cyberpunk put out the worldwide release schedule online, it confused people. That schedule is for the PC version of the game, not for consoles. It clearly states right on that schedule in a box to the side for consoles like PS4 and PS5, which it is PS4. There's no PS5 version of the game. The game will come out midnight your local time. Okay? So, midnight your local time would be midnight, on Thursday. So that means, as of Thursday morning, I'll be able to play the game. And some people have already expressed the desire that I actually play Cyberpunk all day long that Thursday. Like, I play it as the first stream and the second stream. I'd be okay with that. If that's what you guys want, I'd be totally okay with playing it all day long for that first day. I wouldn't do that every day, but I would do that for the first day just so we can get very immersed in it. Okay? Fair enough? So we'll do that all day long on Thursday, and then on Friday I'll do more of it as the main stream. And then Friday night we'll determine, what's the late stream? Should it be Call of Duty? Should it be Assassin's Creed? Should it be this Twin Mirror game if I didn't beat it? We'll have a choice to make. All right? And then I would think after maybe 2 to 3 days of full-on Cyberpunk coverage, then we can swing back to Yakuza 7, and we can start to alternate between Cyberpunk and Yakuza. Okay? That's what I'm thinking for this coming week, this Cyberpunk launch week and everything. All right. And then for the rest of the month, it'll be Cyberpunk and Yakuza. Yes, if we do get kind of slow or bored with those games, then I'll probably add in a third one, and likely it's going to be Immortals Phoenix Rising. Okay? And we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. Maybe I'll bring back Street Fighter to the mix for the late night streams, okay, at some point this month. But I don't want to jump the gun and get too far ahead of myself, You know, let's see how things go this next week, okay? And then we'll go from there and we'll see what we want to do. Cool? Sound good? I hope so. Now, for those of you who were dying to see Sackboy, all 2 of you, sorry that I'm not playing it this weekend. But, you know, as the kind of content creator that I am, alright, I have to make these kind of important and honestly tough decisions. This is a game that I am interested in, but I have to play it when I feel there's value to it. I don't think that the game is a $60 game. I think it's a ripoff because they're trying to make extra money to coincide with the launch of PS5. So, like I said, if and when the price drops, which likely is going to end up being probably next month because no one's going to be buying this for $60 after the first few weeks the PS5's out, then I will likely get it and play it, alright? But I am not going to be rushing to play the game right now, okay? Fair enough? Alright, now a few other things. I have added 2 commands to the streams. First of all, there's !Christmas. You can type that command to nominate games for the upcoming Christmas Marathon, which is taking place on the 23rd of December. It's a Wednesday. During that marathon, we'll be I'll be playing a variety of games, including Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, as well as Fall Guys. But in addition to that, I'll be playing a couple of games, or a few games, that you guys nominate. So please nominate games, alright? I'll also be dressed up in Christmas attire that day, and I'll probably be drinking some festive ales, maybe some eggnog, and maybe even some other stuff. We'll see. Alright, so good stuff. I hope that you guys will nominate games. Then, Ask the King. Special Christmas Eve Holiday Edition is taking place on December 24th, Thursday, which is Christmas Eve. And I've actually added a chat command for that as well. If you type !Ask the King, that will bring up that, that command, and you'll be able to post your questions for that Q&A show. Since the day before Christmas, I'm assuming I might actually get holiday-themed questions, which would be quite nice to have something appropriate to the holidays, but also probably some year-end questions and things about, how things went this year, what I thought about games in 2020. It should be a good show because of the timing, okay? Now, that's going to be the only stream that I'm doing on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to do a late stream because I'm going to spend it with my family, and then Christmas Day I'm going to have off from streaming. So I know it's abnormal that I would have days off in the middle of a week, but I am doing it this year for Christmas, so there you go, okay? So, please nominate games for the upcoming Christmas Marathon, and please post up your questions for Ask the King. Both of those commands will actually auto-post in the chat about every 20 minutes or so, just to remind you guys for the next couple of weeks, alright? Fair enough? Excuse me, that's absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry that I burped. It's gross. That's what coffee does to me. Okay? Alright, good stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like at this point to direct your attention to the amount of subscribers we have on the channel. You may notice something. It went up, which I am shocked and was not expecting. I thought in the first few days of December, we were going to see a significant dip in subs on the channel. Why? Because in the month of November, I had a monthly sub goal of the Christmas Marathon. If we hit a certain amount of subs during November, the Christmas Marathon was going to happen. And I know for a fact that in early November, a lot of people came in here and gifted subscriptions to people on the channel so that we could hit the goal. So I am shocked that we have not dipped yet. We actually went up. We started the month around like 800, 815, and we're up to 850 something, which is great, by the way. I'm not complaining. This is amazingly positive news. But at the same time, it's confusing. Does this mean that we've negated the drop in subs that was going to happen when those gifted subs expired, or does it mean that it's just impending? The reason I'm saying this is because I want to set up a sub goal for this month to make the retrospective event get set up and happen. I want to do an event where we can, go down memory lane and look at the 12 years of content I put on the internet. You guys would nominate your favorite moments, and we'd watch them back together. I'd reminisce a bit. I'd tell you about behind-the-scenes stuff and commentate on these videos. We've done this before. It's become incredibly interesting when I do it. The last time around, it invented the vest streak. It invented the idea that I would wear the vest after hitting a tips goal, and that changed this year's whole outlook. And you know what I mean? Culturally, my streams have changed as a result of the last retrospective event, right? We added emotes and everything. Pretty amazing. But I haven't set up the goal yet because I'm still waiting for the subs to drop, and they haven't. So I'm confused as to what in the heck is going on here. Okay? So I'm going to wait another day or two. All right? Let's wait till Saturday, Sunday. Let's see what happens. All right? Play it by ear, per se. If we see a dip in subs, then I know, okay, the dip has happened, and now I can set up a sub goal that's appropriate to what the level we're at. But if I don't see a dip in subs by like Sunday, I guess we're just going to roll with it, and I'm going to set up the sub goal because I want this going. You know, we only have, at this point, we're already 4 days into the month. We're almost a full week in. You only got four weeks every month, so I don't want to keep dilly-dallying on this. I want to set it up so people would be motivated to subscribe. So, I'll let you know what happens. We'll see in the next couple of days, okay? Don't be shocked if one day, like tomorrow morning, we come on here and we're down to like 700 subs. Seriously, because there was a ton of subs gifted last month to make the Christmas event happen. All right? Fair enough? Okay. I have 2 stories I want to talk about this morning before we head on to shoutouts. But what I will say is this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you in advance to anyone who enjoys my content and my streams, likes me and the kind of style of stuff that I put out, and wants to contribute. If you cheer, sub, or tip today, you will help me tremendously. I am an independent. That means I don't have a streaming contract with Twitch. That means I don't get any sponsorship opportunities from anybody. I am completely self-made, and it is your funding via crowdfunding that keeps me going. That's my job, okay? So when you cheer, sub, and tip during the stream, you're directly aiding my efforts to keep doing what I'm doing, and I appreciate anyone who likes the stuff that I do so much that they do contribute. Keep in mind, contributions are not mandatory. They are not expected. They are greatly appreciated, however, because it keeps me going. If you could just come here and hang out with me every day, that's great. You don't have to feel pressure to contribute. But if you like what you see, please, by all means, contribute. As usual, all right, we have 2 levels of rewards for tip goals that we reach. If we raise $50 in tips today, I will put on the Gunner glasses. If we raise $100, I'll put on a vest. The last vest that we had was the Platinum vest. So that means every other vest will be eligible except the Platinum today. Okay, so I'd appreciate it if we do hit the tips goal. Thank you. And by the way, I should say this. Makes sense to hit the tips goal before the end of the stream. Yesterday's stream, we actually hit the tips goal. I'm not kidding you. When the stream was going off. Like, I was turning the stream off, and we hit the tips goal. I was very appreciative of that. I'm like, there's no time for the vest now. Which was disappointing, obviously. All right? So, if you're looking to contribute, might make more sense to contribute sooner rather than later, so that way it actually applies to the stream and people could get the reward. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, 2 stories I want to talk about today. Okay? The first story is casting has been determined, supposedly, for Solid Snake, the lead role in the upcoming Metal Gear Solid movie adaptation from Sony Pictures. All right? So get ready. Solid Snake will be played by Johnny Depp, if you can believe it. Yes, even though Johnny Depp has been dropped from Fantastic Beasts, he will play Solid Snake. I'm kidding. That is not correct. I just made that up completely. Apparently, they are eyeballing Oscar Isaac. Now, who's Oscar Isaac? First of all, he's a good actor. All right, I've seen him in many different movies. And I really enjoyed his work. Notably, people would recognize him as one of the major characters of the recent Star Wars trilogy. I have to cough there because a lot of people hated that trilogy. Some of the stuff he does is great, and some of the stuff is kind of not so good. I think it really has more to do about the direction than anything, but I do feel that he's a good actor. Now, will Oscar Isaac be a good Solid Snake? I don't know. It's hard to say because, you know, when you look at the Metal Gear series, it's already very, very cinematic, right? Like, the game's cutscenes are kind of shot like movies. And to think that they're now going to take a game that's so cinematic and turn it into an actual piece of cinema, I don't even know how that's going to work, okay? And the weird thing about this is, I've always said this, I feel Hideo Kojima would actually be a good director of a movie. And I feel he should have made a movie. Because he's good at that. Like, if you watch the cutscenes of Metal Gear Solid 4 in particular, you feel like you're watching a big budget Hollywood movie. You know? So, I don't know why that never happened, honestly. And if you look at Death Stranding, his latest outing, what's the strong point of Death Stranding? Is it the gameplay? Traversing these mountain tops and annoying ridges with a bunch of rocks in your fucking way while you're carrying a giant stack of shit on your back? No, it's the story. It's the cinematic cutscenes, it's the dialogue, it's the the voice, the narrative of Death Stranding is its strong point by far, and it's one of the better stories or best stories that I've seen in a long time in a video game. So that's what I mean. I think Hideo Kojima would actually be a great movie director. But that's not happening. They're having someone else make a movie about Metal Gear Solid with Oscar Isaac in the lead role, and it's kind of like, I don't know about this, I guess what I would want more information. I would want to see some of the work done on this movie before I make any kind of a judgment. But for me, I don't know, like, I'm a little skeptical. I am. I'm a little skeptical at this point that this movie's going to be good. But it's very early on. I guess we're going to have to see what happens. But what do you guys think about Oscar Isaac as Solid Snake? Right? What do you think? Ford Camaro just said, sounds like a straight to Netflix movie. Well, it wouldn't be. It's Sony. I doubt Sony's going to go straight to Netflix. Although, interesting, I guess we got to see what happens with COVID. There may not be movie theaters anymore. Right? So, maybe it would have to be direct to digital. There was just a big announcement that, what company was it that's doing everything direct to digital in the next year? I've completely forgotten already. But it's just the company that's putting out Matrix 4, Godzilla versus King Kong, along with tons of movies that they're just. Oh, Warner Brothers, is that who it is? Warner Brothers. Yeah, so all their movies are going to go direct to digital in the coming year because we have no idea if movie theaters are even going to reopen because of COVID. So, wow, first of all, that's a huge change to the way that the medium is going to be delivered to us. It's under that HBO Max thing, which isn't HBO Max. Basically, you just have to pay for each movie individually. I don't think it's like you don't pay a subscription and then get all those movies for free, right? Isn't it similar to that Disney plus shit where you have to still buy the movies or something like that? I'm not sure. I don't have HBO Max, so I'm not sure how it works. But that's interesting to me. That basically it's going to be all digital delivery. So what's going to happen? Oh, HBO Max is not like Netflix. Is that true? So you just pay a flat fee and you would get access to all of those movies in 2021 is what you're saying. Interesting. That's not bad then. Just think about that. All the major Warner Brothers movies next year you'll get without additional fee. Oh, man. That's good. That's way better than the Disney model where, live action Mulan, pay us $30 extra. Like, what? I would be very interested to see how sales numbers on Mulan. I guarantee you they sucked because of the way that they fucking did it. They were like, let's just charge a ton of money because people will we spend money on this movie. We don't want to get screwed. And then they got screwed because they're idiots, the way that they delivered it. Anyway, all this being said, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with this Metal Gear movie. I'm interested to see more on it as more developments happen, but right now they're just in the casting phase. So, okay. The other... here you go. PlayScar Study Adventure says, Mulan is literally free as of today. If you wait 3 months, those paid movies on Disney Plus now become free. That's hilarious. Anyway, the other news story I want to talk about is the future of conventions in a COVID world. All right. In particular, the topic that I want to talk about, Penny Arcade Expo. Penny Arcade Expo, or PAX, typically has 3 events during the course of the year. Regular PAX, PAX East, and there's another one too. I forget what the third one is. Okay. Well, we all know what PAX is, but just for those who maybe have no idea what it is. It's a gaming expo, all right? It's an event where gamers gather, and they play games together. They participate in tournament events. They attend panels. Usually game developers show up at Penny Arcade Expo to exhibit their games, new games, upcoming games. A lot of the times, voice actors and other people in the industry will show up and have panels and things where they can meet the fans. It's hugely a giant interactive thing that happens in regards to video games, okay? And basically, what happened this year was everyone who ran one of these conventions got completely screwed because of COVID. every single person who ran a convention lost money this year because everyone was planning on running the conventions normally, and then COVID hit in March of 2020. Everything shut down. That was the end of all conventions. Okay. Now, obviously, we've had many developments over the course of this year. Sadly, in the United States, for those who don't know, because maybe you don't live in the U.S., we're in the worst we've ever been for COVID. Right now, we have the highest infection rate, and things are going terribly. Death rate, not as bad, because we've basically figured out how to isolate the people who are the most vulnerable, and they're not the ones getting sick anymore. But this virus is spreading at an exponential rate throughout our country right now. It's very, very bad. Okay? Deaths are down, but the infection rate is way up. We keep getting news stories every day now that a vaccine is happening. A vaccine is about to become available, and a vaccine is going to be given out. And we're being told that at first it's going to go to healthcare workers who are on the front lines. I agree with that decision. Makes perfect sense. Then it's going to go to elderly people who are in retirement homes, because these are the people who have died at the highest rate from COVID. Because if it goes into one of these homes, it spreads like wildfire, because these are people who are all isolated in a confined area, and whoop, they all get sick, and because they're all elderly, they all die. I agree with that decision too, although it would be nice if they just didn't bring the fucking virus into the homes. But I guess we already know, as a human race, we're not very good at not spreading the virus, so I guess we have to immunize them all because we're too stupid to not carry the virus into the most vulnerable places. Okay? So I guess that has to happen too. Now, who's going to get the vaccine after that? We don't know yet. You know, it's been heavily discussed that people who are considered high-risk jobs, like, for example, people who are essential workers, would get it next. People who are going to be working no matter what, even if there's a full-on lockdown of businesses like restaurants, recreation, that there'll still be people who are required to work, and those people would get it next. Okay, that could include a lot of people who work at pharmacies, grocery stores, that kind of stuff. And of course, then they're talking about people in a certain age range with certain pre-existing conditions. For example, my parents are both getting up there in age, hitting retirement age, and they both have multiple pre-existing conditions that could make them very susceptible to this virus. If they were to get it, they could die. So maybe they would be like the next in line as well for this vaccine. All right? But what's hilarious to me is just because the vaccine is now going to start to be made available, all of a sudden, people are talking like the world is going to overnight go back to normal. Okay? There's an announcement, press release, which just came out about Penny Arcade Expo this morning. We're proud to announce our convention schedule for 2021. PAX East will happen in June of 2021. And what's the other one? It was PAX East, and it was... I get them confused. There's a PAX East, there's regular PAX, and there's a third PAX. Okay? And I get them all confused. But... yeah, basically, that PAX East would be in June. Regular PAX, I believe, would be in September. And then their final one, which normally would have taken place this month in December, will take place in December. Okay? So they come out with this big announcement. Oh, you know, PAX is back in 2021, man. Even though we didn't have it this year, PAX is back, bro. Okay? Great, I guess, but then people started looking at the situation, and they're like, wait a minute. Wait a second here. What are we talking about? Because if you look at the situation, you're like, when did we say that the world is going to magically fix itself in 6 months and COVID will, like, be obliterated, right? And it's not going to be an issue, you know? Now, keep in mind, the vaccine is going to start to be distributed supposedly this month, okay? But even experts have said there is no way we're going to get the vaccine out to everyone right away. It's going to take a while to get the vaccine out to everybody, okay? He was saying, you know, in order to actually get the vaccine out to everyone, it could take 3 to 4 months to have enough of this vaccine and have the distribution set up. All right, to be a situation where this vaccine will go out and be able to go to everybody. Okay? This is the experts saying this. This is not, you know, speculation. This is 100% experts are saying there's no way this vaccine is going to be able to be distributed widely immediately. It's just not possible. You have to go to the frontline people first and all of that. Okay? So, that being said, realistically, we may not have people who are fully vaccinated, widespread until like spring, if not later. Okay? Now, on top of all this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, you guys know I have to talk about it. There's been this element of people in the United States during this whole thing. They just don't want to listen to facts. They don't want to listen to science. They want to believe that this whole COVID thing's been an insane conspiracy, and we've been trying to take away their personal rights by saying they have to wear a mask and they can't do certain things, yada, yada, yada. And listen, for me, I'm someone who believes in moderation. I'm someone who believes that if you do a complete and utter 100% lockdown, that sadly, since it's not going to solve the issue, it's going to just ruin people's lives and people's businesses and people's jobs. At the same time, you can't just ignore this thing. It's real. People are getting sick and dying around us. You can't pretend like it's fake. The fucking president got it. All right? And the only reason that he got through it so quickly is because he's the president. And they nuked his ass with a bunch of chemicals and drugs that we don't have access to because we're not the president and we're not filthy rich and we don't have our healthcare paid for us for free like he did. So you have to understand it's real. Okay? There has to be at least a middle line here, okay? But sadly, there's people in this country, the United States of America, who think that it's all bullshit. Because sadly, they believe a bunch of fucking idiots who've been propagating this conspiracy theory nonsense the entire year. So don't wear a mask, go to Sturgis County, and go to a motorcycle rally with hundreds of thousands of people and create a giant super spreader event that causes people to die. Go to a wedding with 80 people, all in close proximity, and create a super spreader event. They just keep doing these things over and over. Guess what? We just had Thanksgiving, right? And guess what happened during Thanksgiving? Despite the fact that every single expert said don't do it, people went and traveled and gathered, and they spread COVID because they're stupid. There's just no other way to explain it. People were selfish and stupid, and they did whatever they want. The American way is my freedom of choice over anything else on anyone else's life. I don't care if it kills other people. I don't care if it puts people at risk. As long as I get to do what I want to do, that's the American way. It's pretty fucked up when you really think about it, that there's no greater good mentality. Instead, it's just me, me, me. Okay? But because of that, all right, the point I'm getting to here, you're like, what the fuck does this have to do with PAX, right? The point I'm getting to here is even if we have a vaccine that starts to being distributed this month, that over the next 3 to 4 months goes out to the most needy parties, and then the common person like me, maybe I'll be able to just go to a doctor and get the vaccine, right? Everyone gets vaccinated. There's going to be people who refuse to get it, and it's going to be a large group of people. It's not going to be, there's just a small fringe group of people. No, I have to say it. There's a large group of Americans who are just being stupid and are going to say, I don't want that vaccine. They probably got microchips in it that's going to track me. And they're going to find out when I'm going to Jim Hortons to get my coffee. I can't do it. These people are crazy, man. We very much underestimate the stupidity of the common person in America. We do. Okay? So my point that I'm making here is, even if best case scenario, these vaccines all work and we get them to the right people and everything, June 2021 is not the time to start doing mass convention gatherings again. All right? That is incredibly irresponsible of PAX to think that this is a smart business decision, because you are now saying we just got the fucking vaccine out to people. Who even knows if people are smart enough to get it? Maybe they're dumb and they think that the devil's inside the vaccine and they won't fucking take it or whatever, right? And now you're going to start having conventions again? Now, maybe you want to talk about second half of 2021 when we can sit down and evaluate how has the vaccine worked. Can we start reopening all the businesses completely again and this and that? That's a different discussion. But June? In fact, there was an article this morning that stated we won't even see a major positive benefit of the COVID virus vaccine until April. That because the way that this thing works, we're not going to see any major dip in cases as a result of that vaccine until April. April. So you're telling me that in 2 months, the vaccine's going to, or excuse me, the virus will disappear, right? I don't know, man. Like, first of all, this vaccine apparently was developed in record time compared to other vaccines. So you already got to be skeptical that this vaccine is going to work as effectively as we hope. All right? But now all of a sudden, businesses are going to start saying, "Oh, let's just get right back to normal in June. Sounds good." What? By the way, the Olympics, the worldwide exhibition of sport, was supposed to happen this year and was completely canceled because of COVID. The Olympics are even saying they're not happening in June. I think right now they're tentatively looking for August of next year, if they even can do it. But they're literally saying, no, we have to be sure that everything is very, very safe before we're willing to gather people in mass for an event like this. Okay? So, for PAX to say, oh yeah, here's a big press announcement this morning. PAX is back in 2021. I can't wait. Buy your tickets for June. Of course, they're not saying buy your tickets yet. They're not available yet. But to say that they're going to be in early June 2021 is ludicrous to me. And now people always make fun of me when I say ludicrous. It is. It's lunacy. It's like, you have no clue what's going to happen this year. You don't know if this vaccine is going to work. And if you're in a business position where you absolutely need to make a convention that early, you failed as a business. Like, I'm sorry, PAX is huge, and PAX makes a ridiculous amount of money. So if you're telling me that PAX has to do a convention in June of 2021 to stay afloat and put people's lives at risk, that's ridiculous. Like, that means someone there is not doing their job running the business properly. Because you got to look, again, it's about the greater good. If it's, oh my God, we can't do PAX till late 2021, and it means that people don't get infected, that's what you do. What's going to happen is, sadly, you're going to have people who are not going to care. They're not going to take the vaccine. They're going to say, oh, PAX is back. That means I can just go and gather with my friends and do everything we used to do. And they're going to act like COVID never existed. All right? Now, listen, maybe this is all doom and gloom because we've had such a shit year. Maybe things will be better by June. But what I'm saying is, this is crazy to think this thing's going to be gone by June. Magically, the overnight cure is this vaccine. When the experts are saying we won't even see an impact until April, how can we be making business decisions like this for June that could create a super spreader event that would infect so many thousands of people? I'm just, that blows my mind. So anyway, I felt like I wanted to talk about that today because, as you know, I've been talking about COVID all year, and I heard this. I was like, they're out of their minds. I don't know who the hell would make a business decision like this unless they're desperate. Like, that's what it sounds to me like. PAX is desperate. Like, they really weren't planning on not doing any conventions this year, obviously, and they don't operate their business in a way where they could just skip a year. They're fucked financially, and so now they're trying to say, well, we got to have it no matter what. Like, Jesus, seriously, man, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Okay, so anyway, guys, there you go. That's the stories that I had to talk about this morning. All right, let's get the shout-outs for those who have contributed, shall we, my friends? Okay. Good. So, let's see here. Okay. So, overnight, Golden Colts cheered. Thank you very much, Golden Colts. And, let's see here. Golden Colts said the following. Hold on. Clicking around. I can't think of any good questions today. Tell me a story. I just did. That's what I do on pre-stream as I discuss news. So, once upon a time, there was a company that apparently is poorly managed and thought that it was a better idea to risk the lives of their thousands of attendees by creating a super spreader event way too early rather than forego another convention. There you go. There's your story. Members EWF tipped me $1 overnight and said, wait till you hear this. Headline news today, a man bought a PS5 behind his wife's back and he told her it's an air purifier. When she found out, she made him give it away for free. Well, you probably shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, especially if it's your significant other, someone who you have entered into a life pact with that, to having to hold in sickness and in health, you probably shouldn't be fucking lying to them about buying a video game console like a dumb kid trying to hide some silly secret. What an ass. Anyway, continuing on. The She-Wolf X is today's first cheerer with a 50-bit cheer and said, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you to the She-Wolf X. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. Good to see you, She-Wolf. Knight of the DSP Republic Cheers said, would you consider adding Twitch BTTV emotes? No. Hold on. No. No BTTV emotes. I said a million times, we don't need them. All right? First of all, I've got over 40 emotes on my channel, more than most people on any Twitch channel besides the ginormous streamers, okay? I don't want to have to work on them, manage them, you know? I don't really know that much about them. And by the way, most people don't use Better Twitch TV. It's a small group of people who use it, and they basically want to get access to these exclusive emotes. You guys use them all the time in the chat. I don't even know what the fuck it means because all I see is the command, not the emote. So the answer is no. We're not doing that. Okay. A 50-bit Quan cheered. He says, you put Sackboy on an Amazon wishlist and one of us can buy it for you to play. 50-bit Quan, as I already explained, it is not a matter of the cost of the game. I can afford the game. For me, it's a matter of value. As the kind of streamer that I am, I don't get everything for free. I'm not into free promotion of games. It's about value. I don't feel there's a $60 value in Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I feel that game is probably worth about $30 to $40 tops, and they're selling it for $60 to make extra profit during the launch window of PS5. I do want to play the game, but this is not some kind of an amazing Game of the Year contender game. This is a game that's going to be meant to be filling in late night streams, so I'm not rushing to play it. I'll play it when it's cheaper. Okay? There you go. Fire7672 resub for 19 months. Thank you to Fire for a 19-month resubscription. I really appreciate that. Roche715 to me $4.20 said, hey Phil, I hope you have a good day. Thank you, Roche. I appreciate that. Let me get that up on the leaderboard. Our first tip of the day. It's 715. Roche 715. There we go. And there we go. Very good. King of Low Views resubscribed for 11 months and big ups. What was your reaction to Smelly Kelly's Jelly Belly showing up on stream? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about at all. And if you continue to reference stupid shit like that, you know, I'm going to have an issue. Because from what I understand, people are saying this is actually something negative that people are saying towards another streamer. I didn't know that at first. And there were a couple people in here in the past couple of days who their names were Smelly Kelly, and I didn't understand that. Apparently, you're making fun of someone's wife. All right? That's not cool. All right? I'm going to lay down the law about this right now. All right? I'm going to be very honest with all of you. I personally have people who attack my wife for absolutely no fucking reason. All right? My wife is not part of my content. My wife has nothing to do with my streams. Every once in a while, I'll casually mention her about things that we're doing in our real life or whatever, and that's the extent of her involvement. Yet people still constantly attack her, okay, for no reason. You understand that? So I am not going to allow people to come on my stream and attack someone else's wife, all right? So it's this simple. If you're going to come on here and you're going to make jokes about someone else's wife, you're not going to be here anymore. It's not acceptable behavior on my stream, and I'm laying down the law about this right now. Do not do it. I'm just going to say this up front so there's no misunderstanding. I didn't know that those people who with those names the last couple of days what it was referencing until just recently. I was like, really? That's what it was? That's fucked up. So you say shit like that. I'm saying now, basically, let me put it this way. You got your free pass. You got away with it up to now because I didn't know what it was. All right? Free pass is now over. If you act like that in here, you're out of here. All right? So, just forewarning anyone, don't do it. Okay? I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to put up with your shit. Okay. 50-bit Quan cheers. In the current climate, a Metal Gear Solid movie will be a movie about Snake fighting white supremacists who hijack Metal Gear in order to make America great again. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Knows Nobody did 100-bit cheers. Says, what was the last anime I watched? The last anime I watched, I was watching Sword Art Online. What was it? It was this Sword Art Online where this guy got stabbed with some kind of a poison needle or something by some crazy asshole who he beat in a fucking online MMO. And because of that, he got put inside of a virtual world where all these AIs thought that they were really alive when they're not, and they're living this like virtual fantasy world, and he was put in there temporarily, but he knows that he's in a game, like he knows it's not real, so he's using his knowledge of MMOs to like try to overcome stuff in the world. And I don't remember what actual, the name of it was. Kat and I watched like a bunch of it, and then we forgot about it and stopped watching it. So, there you go. Okay. Team Gardinator Charity says, in California where I live, we're getting 300,000 vaccines first in mid-December as a first round, but we still need to wear a mask after taking one. Of course you do. What would be the point of getting... Well, then again, I guess it depends on how effective is the vaccine, which I don't know. I don't know. I read somewhere it would be like 90-something% effective, but still, imagine you take the vaccine, it doesn't take. Oh, fuck. I seriously don't even want to think about this right now. I'm tired of this shit. I want to have a fun gameplay stream and not have to think about COVID. Alright, so, Jesus Christ. Alexander Rossi, cheers. The vaccines usually take upwards of 5 to 10 years to develop. The fact we're getting this one under a year makes me feel like they're rushing it out the door and it won't be effective. I'm young, I can afford to wait it out and see. I just feel nervous. I hope it works, seriously, but I don't know what's going to happen. Alright, continuing on. Team Gardinator Chitties, have you heard about Persona 5 Strikers? It's a sequel to Persona 5, a hack-and-slash Dynasty Warriors gameplay style, and it looks prettier than the original. It's coming out on February 23rd, 2021. Will you play it? No. Now, if you'd like an explanation as to why, I like Persona 5. It was a super-duper good RPG. Alright? Why am I not going to play Persona 5 Strikers? I'll tell you why. Because Atlas, sadly, as a company, are completely out of touch with reality. When new games from Atlas come out, they put out the most ridiculous streaming and YouTube requirements to say, oh, if there's even a single piece of cutscene playing, you can't put that on the internet. We'll copyright strike you. If a copyrighted song plays, you can't put that on the internet. We'll copyright strike you. You can only show this kind of gameplay, but not this kind of gameplay. And even then, when Atlas puts out their absolutely ridiculous criteria for streaming and content creation, they still don't go by it. When Persona 5 was out, Atlas was constantly putting out new guidelines. Okay, you can play up to this point in the game. You can play up to this point in the game. I followed their guidelines, and they still gave me copyright strikes against DSPGaming on YouTube. And I contacted them and said, what are you doing? I didn't violate your rules. Why would you do this? To which Atlas of America responded and actually said, we don't even know. We don't know why you got these strikes. It seems like our parent company in Japan doesn't know what they're doing. And we're really sorry this happened. And eventually I did get those strikes reversed. But still, like, you can't trust them. They just seem to be a company that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And they do whatever they want. Even if you follow their rules, they'll fucking hit you with false copyright strikes. So, am I going to risk my channels to play this game? A fucking Dynasty Warriors game? No. Absolutely not. It's not worth the risk. You know? I had to wait an extra fucking year to play the rest of Persona 5 because of what happened. I am not going to be chancing anything with Persona 5 Strikers. Screw it. Okay? I don't care. Alright. Crash Bandicoot Cheese announced today they're making a Metal Gear Solid movie with Oscar Isaac as Snake. Thoughts? We already talked about that, Crash Bandicoot. You'll have to watch the pre-stream. You'll have to rewind the pre-stream later on YouTube and watch it back because we already had a big segment about that. Okay? Randy O. Butternut just reached up for 8 months. I'm looking forward to more positive content. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Randy O. Butternut, for the ongoing support. 8 months. Crash Bandicoot Cheered. He says, I'm working at retail right now, and let me tell you, I've seen things I wish I could unsee. It's been a very difficult job, especially during the pandemic. It makes you lose hope in humanity. What we go through, I feel for your wife. I'm in the same boat. My wife has told me the same thing. She sees people on the regular going into stores, no masks, doing disgusting shit that obviously is spreading the virus. Theft has gone way up during the pandemic this year. Just people going into stores, just stealing shit and running right out the door. They don't care. They're committing crimes on the regular. Like, seriously, the world has become a way less safe place during this pandemic. So I feel for retail workers who are on the front lines of this thing, man. Members EWF tipped me $1. So if you ever return to Rock Band in the future, you bought some songs, never played them. No, there's no way I could do that because of the nature that everything works now on YouTube and Twitch. I cannot play licensed music anymore. You know, when I did that, I kind of got away with it because I was under a managed partnership, and those things managed partnerships don't even exist anymore. They did away with them. So there's no way I would be able to do that. Jethro's main cheer said, when you say super duper 80 times a stream, what does duper mean? It means stronger than super. Alexander Rossi cheers says, so many immature idiots on Twitter giggling at a penis slider in Cyberpunk. Another screenshot of Survivor out. All right. Gunnar Henson tipped me $2. Says they should postpone conventions till 2022 to play things safe. No need to rush and put everyone at risk by rushing to bring back conventions. Yeah. When I heard this announcement this morning from PAX, I was like, are they completely out of touch with reality? And that's what I mean. Like, when I heard that, I was like, what I think is they're desperate. It sounds to me like that's a company that 99% of their profit comes directly from their conventions. And they absolutely rely on their conventions running every year to turn a profit. And because there was no conventions this year, they're hurting so badly, they have to just assume things will be better this year coming up. And I don't think they're going to be. So, I agree with you. Crash Bandicoot Judy said the casting of Oscar Isaac makes much more sense than Tom Holland as Drake, which is bizarre. Well, yeah, but at the same time, isn't Tom Holland supposed to be a young Nathan Drake? Right? Like, he's supposed to be cast as, like, early Nathan Drake. Right? Remember when they had that series, Young Indiana Jones or whatever? Right? Or was it Indiana Jones Jr.? I can't remember. But it's supposed to be like a younger version of Indy. It's the same thing here. It's supposed to be young Nathan Drake in the movie. So, Ugly Tuna Roll tipped me $5. How you doing? Hope all is well. I haven't attended your streams for a good minute, but I'm glad to be back. All right, Ugly Tuna Roll. Well, welcome back. How you doing? By the way, Ugly Tuna Roll, are you actually here? I hope you are, and I hope this is legit. It's always good to check, don't you think? I think Ugly Tuna Roll is actually here today. But I just want to confirm before I jump the gun here. He's here. Cool. All right, Ugly Tuna Roll. Thanks. I wanted to confirm you were here. You know, sadly, you still got these assholes who are impersonating people left and right. So, thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate that. You're the top tipper. Let's get you on the leaderboard. You certainly chose an interesting stream to come back to with Demon Souls, because you know I'm going to get my ass handed to me. Local Nomad did a 210-bit cheer, which has now become the top cheer of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard, and we'll see what Local Nomad has to say. All right, he says, how's it going? Hoping for a big turnout for your Cyberpunk streams. I expect everyone is playing it themselves. I'll have to click off if you're ahead of me to avoid spoilers, but I'm definitely looking forward to your playthrough. And that's cool. That is why I archive everything on DSPGaming on YouTube. Because people I know will be playing and won't want spoilers. And likely most of you will end up being ahead of me after launch day. Probably launch day will all be equal pace. But after that, I'm only going to be playing it once a day, and I won't be playing it every single day. So likely a lot of you will be jumping ahead of me. Crash Bandicoot cheers. I watched back your entire playthrough of Crash 4 on YouTube. At the beginning of every video, you said, all right. Yes, it is a mannerism that I say when I start recording. Sometimes I say all right. And in fact, most of the time I do. Members, EWF chipped me $1. Said, were you a fan of Living Color? And did you get turned on by Cult of Personality because of CM Punk? I never saw, well, I knew about the song. I've heard the song from Living Color before. But I not really, you know, got into it. You're right. Until CM Punk. With WWE, that's how really, the song, I liked it a lot. So, okay. Shoutouts to the top cheers of the week. Thank you to those who have cheered with bits this week. Appreciate that. We got Timbo Slice in 10th place. Yoshino Lover in 9th. Stinking Burrows in 8th. 50-bit Bick in 7th. Lies for Soul in 6th. Phantom R3 Button in 5th. The Hated One in 4th. The Witness by Adam Jones in 3rd. Rob on Wheels in 2nd. And Rosalina Flower in 1st. Also, thank you to the top sub-gifters of this week, including Suave Super Mutant, I Buy Pepsi Max, Diocletian, Darkside Elon, Sir Spartan King, Overweight Guinea Pig, and McDuck Juggernuggets 8, who all gifted a single sub, among others. But those are the ones who show up on the leaderboard. Thanks to Internet Famous McCroy for 2 gifted subs, and Dr. Tony Huge for 3, and of course, Wig Jr. for 20. 20 gifted subs this week. Amazing. All right, guys, I got to use the bathroom. Let's take a break. When I come back, it's Demon Souls. I'll see you in a bit.